you. So I think you are one of the most fascinating people, and you've created such an interesting life. Um, as far as you've taken your passion from when you're a little girl and you've turned it into a career. How did you do it?
Well, it started with being early in school and not being allowed to sing with the other children because I couldn't match pitches.
And yet you turned into this
But
amazing
I
opera.
sang all the time and I loved to sing. And so somehow I learned. And then when I was 15, my mother got me voice lessons. And, and that sort of started everything.
Oh, how sweet. And so at 15, then you could sing with other kids, or so that
Oh,
was earlier,
I
earlier on.
I I I learned by myself to match pitches finally. I was determined.
How did you not get discouraged? Or did that even cross your mind?
Yeah, it did. And it was very hurtful, very
Mhm.
hurtful. But I sang all the time, you know. And so I just I don't know how I learned, but I learned.
You learned.
I just
Yeah.
kept doing
That's
it.
really neat. Because there's so many times when people are told they're not good at something and then
They
they
quit
just
doing
they
it.
quit doing it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
No,
There's no way.
it was your calling.
Too much fun.
So if somebody was out there listening to this and they really wanted to sing or do something, is there anything that you would tell them if they were discouraged and they just wanted to quit?
I could tell them that I have been since when did I go to college? 1959. 1959 was when I went to college. And that's when people started saying they couldn't sing. And I would say, well, I'm sure you can. And I started teaching people who couldn't sing. And since then, hundreds of people who have been told they can't sing, as I was, and are, just absolutely determined. If there's no way, I can't. And I say, but you can. And I have never, ever failed. Hundreds of people, every one of them, I've taught to sing on pitch.
That's really cool. Do you think you can teach people how to match pitches because you were told that you could not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 I am determined and I know how. I have a method, it's foolproof.
That's really cool. So if
Yeah.
somebody meets a teacher and they say you can't sing, it's more because they don't know how to help somebody learn how to match a pitch or learn how to sing, not necessarily because they can't
Right.
get a new teacher.
When I was teaching choir in high school, I was asked to give lectures on numerous kinds of things. One was this very subject, and I remember being in a room full of senior teachers, school teachers, senior teachers, not private voice teachers, but private voice teachers are the same. And I said, how many of you, when you were young, were told you had a pretty voice? Every single one of them. When I was young, they told me to be quiet, that I couldn't sing. And if you bring to me somebody from your class who match pitches right in front of you, I will teach him to match pitches or her. And eventually, people started bringing people. I gave this lecture numerous times, and I would do it. And at that time, there was all over the world communication with choir teachers. You could type in questions and stuff. And somebody said, what should I do with somebody they just can't? How can I get rid of them in the choir? And I wrote that I could. And I got from Australia, England, all over the world, people asking me how you do it.
Is it something that you could explain to them?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I wrote it all out step by step by step.
Yep.
And yeah.
That's beautiful. What a gift.
That was really fun.
So I love the way that you explain not just breath, but the support around breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And you apply it to singing. But as a rolfer, I see it as you could apply it to talking, projecting your voice, or like,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, because speech therapists.
So I was wondering if you could explain to us what you know.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mystery. There's a lot of mystery to it. But the way I explain breath for singing, it can be explained by this little dealy. And this is supposed to be a diaphragm. Diaphragm is flat muscle that's attached all the way around our rib cage, and you can feel it, the attachment here. And this is supposed to be a lung, which is right now not cooperating very well. But when the diaphragm goes down, the lung inflates. Oh, that'll work a little bit. So
isn't that neat? Okay.
if this were a mouth and the mouth is open, when the diaphragm goes down, automatically the lungs fill up. And then it goes back up and the breath goes out. And so I have people look at that, and then I have them feel that. And then I give them a water balloon. I want you to feel here, and I want you to try to blow up the balloon. Did I have you do this the other day?
No, you did not the other day. Okay, here it goes. Feeling here.
What do you feel under that hand?
My hand pops out. Fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really neat.
And that's what you do to support.
Okay.
So,
huge difference. Big deal. Thank you. Oh, could you also explain that other exercise of yawning?
Oh,
I think that's a fun one if you don't have a water balloon to try. Yeah, to get your throat open.
So that one of the first things that you need to tell a student is that their voice will be prettier if their throat is wide open. Like, oh my God. Ooh. There's ooh, and there's ooh, and there's ooh.
That's
all
amazing.
I did was stretch my throat.
Wow.
Like a yawn. You have to learn to yawn.
Learn to yawn. I love it. Thank you, Dorla.
You are